Hello everyone, Russ of Aquarimax here. I just thought I'd do a little update on the velvet ant enclosure. As I put them back in, I just replaced the substrate with sand, and I'll talk a little bit more about why I did that in a minute. But I'm going to release this one. This is the one I got from Peter at Bugs in Cyberspace, a large one. It's a beautiful, beautiful velvet ant there. Of course, for those of you who don't know, velvet ants are wingless wasps. The males have wings, the females do not, so all the ones that I keep are female. And basically, I got 3 from Peter, and 2, unfortunately, passed on a week or so after I got them. I don't think that has anything to do with what Peter did, but the thing with velvet ants is since they're wild caught, you never know how old they are when you get them. Could be something to do with that, not sure. But at any rate, this one that I got from Peter is doing fabulously well. It's a beautiful velvet ant. It looks like it's investigating the substrate very minutely. I wonder what it's looking for. Okay, you'll notice that I have various containers of liquid and cotton and whatnot. I'll explain what these are. This is a honey water mixture. It's approximately 1 part honey to 4 parts water. They seem to like that. This is just plain water here in the ant feeder. This is sugar water here in the ant feeder. I put the label on there because I can't tell the difference just visually. And then the one over here is also sugar water. I have seen the velvet ants drinking from this test tube plugged with cotton, drinking the sugar water. I've seen them drinking leaked honey water out of one of these. They don't normally leak, but when you put honey water in them, the honey tends to ferment and leak. I contacted the manufacturer because this one was leaking, and I told him what was going on. And he said, if you're using honey water, it's going to start fermenting, and CO2 is going to build up here and push the liquid out. Otherwise, it doesn't leak. So I had a bunch of honey water that leaked out into the substrate. Of course, I removed that and then replaced it with sugar water. Honey water doesn't ferment so readily in one of these, I guess because it has more access to air, and also it's not under pressure, so even if it is fermenting, that's not that big of a problem. But so I offer the honey water in the open deli cup with the cotton, and then this is just water. I'm not sure if they're drinking that or not yet. Jury's still out on that. So anyway, let's move on to the next velvet ant. This one I caught myself here locally about a week and a half ago. There she goes. This one is probably Dasimutella bioculata, although it can be hard to tell because there are a lot of mimics. There are Mullerian mimicry rings going on where many different species are difficult to tell apart, but that's the species that I've caught locally before. Quite a bit smaller than the other one, but very active and beautiful, just like the bigger one. And now I would like my daughters to tell the story of the 3rd velvet ant. Who's going first? Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so Babo, my dad was away, and my mom had just gotten back from grocery shopping, so we went out to help her carry the bags in, and we each had like 2 or so, and mine actually had glass in it, but we were carrying them, and we were almost to the door when my mom just went, "Ah, it's a velvet ant!" And we all dropped the groceries like a foot away from the floor, and they all just clattered and laid there while we scrambled onto the ground, and we were trying to grab the velvet ant and keep it away from like the cracks. So eventually I was able to guide it into my hands, and then
our mom had run to the car to get a deli cup so we could try and catch it in that, and she grabbed that, so we like brought it over in my sister's hands to her, except then it jumped out of her hands and it landed on my sandal and was like crawling underneath my toes and everything, and we were like, where is it? Oh, it's on my shoe, don't squish it, and all this stuff, and it jumped away from us a couple more times, but we finally got it in the deli cup right there.
So I was very proud of my daughters and my wife for being able to capture the velvet ant without my assistance or even presence, and I'm very excited that they would do such a thing for me. I thought that was very cool. So I'm now going to release that last velvet ant. As you can see, this one is a different sort of look to it. It's a different species and I believe a different genus. I'm going to be contacting my cousin, who happens to be an entomologist who specializes in solitary wasps and bees. So he'll be able to tell me exactly which genus it is and hopefully the species as well. But I'm excited to have it, and that's about it. I just wanted to give you a little update on my velvet ants today. No live stream. because we're having some family activities this afternoon and evening, and I just thought I'd do this for you instead. And very excited about my velvet ants. I'd possibly like to add a couple of more to this enclosure, but in the meantime, I'll enjoy these 3. Thanks for watching today. I post videos all about aquarium and vivarium pets on Wednesdays and Fridays. Please feel free to rate, comment, share, and if you haven't already,
subscribe.
And then click the bell icon so you don't miss my next video. Oh, and as a reminder, if you're ever interested in keeping velvet ants, they can climb glass, so make sure you have a secure lid.